Hello. So last time I was trying to make stateful widgets work with okay, so this is an attempt with a macro, but basically I was trying to make stateful widgets work with a trait. But so the problem is here we'd need something like nope. We need something like impl widget, or so on the trait itself, this isn't an issue, but if I want to impl this trait for I don't know, my state, whatever that is, and I do build, here I'd want to use impl widget. So I've thought about this problem. Yeah, obviously this doesn't work, but in stable Rust, there's not really a solution to that. Also, the same like stateful widget doesn't necessarily need to be implemented as a trait, but I tried implementing it as just a function. But here there's problems with lifetime constraints because whatever the build function returns needs to be constrained by the lifetime of the state that's passed in, or something like that. Either way, it doesn't end up working out because you can't constrain this explicitly here because you can't do anything like constraints here. What you can do is this, but you can't do plus. So you could do like that, but it's not a reference. So, and the constraint is here. So the lifetime would need to be specified there. So that doesn't end up working out. Or I didn't find a way to make it work out. So I did some research, and there's an unstable Rust feature for being able to use impl in traits and other stuff. So that is called Rust unstable book, I believe. Yeah. So here in the Rust unstable book, there's a bunch of features, and I think it's called impl something, type alias impl, I believe. Isn't quite documented here how it works, and I'm not quite sure from this either. Apparently there's an implementation, but either way we need unstable Rust. So I think I think there's a command, something like cargo switch on, no, not switch, use unstable, no, Or is it switch? Cargo. Oh, or rust up. Rust up. Modify directory override. Rust up override dash help. Running in a specific directory. Rust use unstable in for project or something. Default. Okay. Rust up override set nightly. All right. So yeah, let's just get this non-building stuff out of here. So okay, it's rebuilding or whatever, rechecking. Yep. So maybe we can. So how did that syntax work? All right. So apparently, yeah, that's feature and then just what you want to use. So here we can, or no, with a bang. Feature type alias infiltrate. Type alias infiltrate. Okay. So now what does this enable? All right, let's make a struct my state and impl stateful widget for my state. Now we need, can I do type widget equals impl widget? Is that a possibility? Good. Oh, interesting. So that means this should work. Let's see. So let's do init state first, the boring part, which is just my state. Build now. Do I have some thing that works. Do we have a button? Or is that not included? We have text box and okay, all right. So I don't know why I started with text box. Maybe button would have been better. Oh, there's none widget. All right. Yeah, let's just try it with none widget. Bit unfortunate because that doesn't. Yeah, whatever. None widget. All right. Okay, this seems to compile. So that's nice. Yes. So by the way, last time I said using impl trait in a trait would be blocked by generic associated types, but I think that's not true in this case. I think for using async in traits, I believe that was the issue. But maybe with this you could do a limited subset, but I think it's for cases like if you impl some async trait for whatever do stuff and then you would want to return impl future like future of string or something, which that would work like type future impl future string, so that would work. But but what wouldn't work is self future. But what wouldn't work is if you're generic over t here and you'd want to return impl future t, then that's why they call it generic associated types, because what you'd need is here to have t and then t, and then you could return self future t. But yeah, so that's what generic associated types are. And I think possibly there will. I actually don't know if there will be an async, like if you'll be able to use async fn in a trait or only in the implementation. But yeah, either way. So not necessarily all uses of impl trait are blocked by generic associated types in traits. So yeah, so this seems to work. Now, of course, in some sense to really test it, but I mean, this part works, so that's nice. To really test it, we need something like involving a closure or something, which is really what the issue here was. Because otherwise here with widget, you'd have to always type out what the type is, which in some cases would just be annoying, but with closures, it would be impossible. So yeah, so that's what that will solve. So yeah, I guess let's try try implementing the rest of stateful widgets for to make that work. All right. Where did we? So now there's a question for stateful. That was a struct. So we had a struct stateful widget. So one option here, nope, would be to just not pop impl widget for t, which is a stateful widget, just impl widget for t. Now the issue with that is there can't be any additional state, and as we figured out here, the reason I store min size and extra layers here is because currently those don't take mutable references. So yeah, so in this case, if we don't store them, we need to go through build. I think we need to build in each. Oh, we're doing that anyway, except for in min size and extra layers, which by the way, I want to avoid longer term anyway, to have to rebuild in each of those. Even though build isn't as expensive as it would be in other frameworks where there's memory allocation involved, but still it's an unnecessary cost. So I want to store that possibly in. So since the result of build can depend on state, I couldn't store the output of build in state, so I'd have to store it in self, which happens to be mutable. So that would maybe work. But yeah, so anyway, if we want to keep this part of those not being mutable, which we don't necessarily need, but I prefer, if we want to keep that, we cannot use this approach. So that's why I guess what is this A stuff? Let's delete that. But so I think I'll stay with this approach where where there will be a struct stateful widget and a function where you pass in something implementing the trait or something. So yeah, let's I guess uncomment all that and make it work with the trait. So this will produce some. All right. This was W, but we'll have to change that anyway. Stateful widget. It has. So obviously we don't want any phantom data. That was just an experiment. So yeah, those are now in the trait. So you wouldn't pass in an instance of a type implementing the trait. You'd just be generic over something implementing the trait, I think. And so what's the problem here? Is defined multiple times. Ah, all right, yeah, we can we can't have the trait and the struct named that. What do we call? First of all, don't need that. That we won't need as well, but So now the question here is, do we want to just impl widget, return impl widget, or do we want to return an explicit instance of the struct? If we don't, the struct could be internal here, so then the name duplication wouldn't be an issue. So I I guess this would be stateful widget state. Oh, wait, why is it? Did I F2 that? Nope. State. What? Oh, it was already called that. All right. So stateful widget state. There's all right. So it needs to have state as well. So now the question is, what do we put in? So maybe let's just call this widget state. It's a bit nicer for actually the people implementing it, I guess. Yeah, we can work out the details of what's nicest later. I just want to make this work for now. Impl So obviously this wouldn't be that anymore. It would just be oh no, wait. So I can actually implement as long as f no wait. I can't even this is the state, so yeah. I'm not sure. So the trait is implemented for the state. So obviously we couldn't do the other thing of having a blanket impl for state. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think we'd have to do that. Otherwise, it would be like, let's call it stateful widget. And type would be state. Init state would have to do nothing with self, which is possible, I think. So now, but build would be and state, and it would return itself. Now I have no idea how that would work with infiltrate. I mean, I guess you could do something like type my widget, which is impl. No, impl widget. Yeah, but yeah, that's weird. I wonder if it works, but I might just check that out later. Yeah, so widget state is what we're gonna do. So this so the widget itself would be nothing, which is weird. The state and widget state, sure. So don't need that part. What is okay? No, we don't need it. So let's see where S is. So the state stateful widget. So what is constrained to be widget state? So we need some thing that is a widget state. The problem is it'll not be constrained by shit, because this has no constraints. And yeah, so it would need phantom data, I guess. Yeah. Okay, wait, how come it doesn't? Yeah, all right. So maybe we do need phantom data here. Let's just try that out. S, which is widgets. I guess we can do it here. So I don't know. Would be phantom data S, which not really a fan of, but sure. So maybe let's, yeah, this can be S. I think this replaces what S was previously. So S, sure. So state would be stateful widget state, and it would be S and S widget state, or not. ambiguous associated. All right. So we'd need to as widget, I think, or not. Trade bound. What? Ah. Now, of course, this needs to be a widget. So then do we still need this explicit stuff? All right, yeah. Oh, let's read the error message. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so that, and then we have to, so instead of self init state, we would do s : init state, and build would be state.build. Yes. Same thing here. State.state.build. So state.state.build here as well. And same thing here. And same thing. All right. Was that it? Seems too easy. All right, so here instead of init state and build, this would just be an empty function, I guess, and just s widget state, I guess. These bounds wouldn't be here. Sure, the whole static thing. I'll have to figure out later the lifetime constraints. Yeah, all right. What did I call that field? Yes. Phantom data S. No, con S. Maybe. Ooh, that worked. Now the question is, does it work in the example? What is state? Yeah, so as opposed to what I was trying before, we do need an explicit stateful widget. Yeah, we need an explicit state. So struct my state, and it contains, I don't know, content, which is text box content, which should be in scope, yes. And now I can impl widget state for my state. And the question is, so this is its own crate, so probably I need to use the feature flag here as well, or only here so far. We'll need it in the crate proper as well, but not so far. So type widget would be impl widget, right? And that will throw an error. Yes, all right. So we need this. All right, yeah. So now we need in why did it suggest it init state? Yes, which is my state content would be. Does it have a new method? Text box content. Yes, it does have a new method. Text box content new. And then we need a build. And it would return a text box with self.content. It will reference to that. Captures lifetime that does not appear in bounds. So yeah, that was what I was talking about before. So we probably need something like that. Oh, right. This isn't. Oh no. Shit. I think we have the same problem again. Because we would need generic associated types. Is that it? So yeah, there's no. Ooh, they're unstable. So they do exist. All right. I thought they weren't even implemented yet because I guess I didn't find. Oh, or maybe what I didn't find was generic associated types. Let's see if we can make this work. Widget A. I fucking hope so. Ah, yes. Ooh, this is getting tricky. Missing a lifetime bound. Oh no. Yeah, that's sort of unfortunate that like it's a different type with a different lifetime, so we can't use associate. Can I trick it with static or something? Okay. Missing required bound. This bound is currently required to ensure that impulse have maximum flexibility. Where self A? Okay, where do I need to? Is that a thing here? Okay. Consider, okay, self needs to be static. May not live long enough. As static. Can I do something like whatever the lifetime of S is? Or can I do... I don't think that will work, but for a... just some lifetime? No. Wouldn't even know where to put the 4, but I don't think that works in that context. For a new this is getting a bit complicated. So A, what is A? Why do I have A here? That doesn't, just A. I guess self needs to be A as well. Where self is A, maybe? No, S, which A. Wait, why? Ah, right. So here. It'd have to be here, right? Where's the error? Ah, I assume this is unconstrained. Not constrained by self type. It is the self type is constrained by it. Okay, this is getting weird, but maybe I need to. Not. But plus A. And then no, I, comma. Yeah, this is unconstrained. Never used. Wait, is that possible? Phantom data A. That sounds. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. All right. So maybe we need to add an A here. Maybe this doesn't need generic associated types then. Just comment that out for a second. Type widget is widget and A, but I don't think that'll work. because this lifetime is for the whole state. So that'll work. Widget state A. Okay. A as well. Still some issue. Where's the issue? Ah. Still never you. Okay, yeah, let's just remove. Now it's not used here. Okay. Can I do for A? Okay, same problem. Cannot use the associated type of a trait with uninferred generic parameters. Okay. So for some A yeah, I mean that. So I guess we need to try this. But yeah, I hope I can make this work. Right, okay. Static, that seems quite hacky. Yeah, alright. May not live long enough. Consider adding an explicit lifetime bound. I don't know if you want that though. State has an anonymous lifetime but needs to write. So here it has any lifetime. And so I really want to use the for thing here. But I don't think it'll work. Why does it think it's a trait object? Can we do that? That seems insane. May not live long enough. Where S is of A. Where S okay, no, that wasn't the constraint itself. Where S is A. Where would I even put the where? Here? Yeah, right. Do I need that though? Maybe that's the issue. So here in build, we say build widget returns may live as long as the reference to self. And how would one go about this? So I don't really want to constrain this, and so in some sense, I don't want it to be static. Okay, wait, so let's leave this here maybe. So in practice, in this case, it'll be text box content, which means the widget will be something that has a reference to text box content. So it does have a lifetime. Now, maybe we do need to constrain the lifetimes here. So build, we produce state from self, which so it makes sense for widget to be somewhat constrained, but not for its state though. All right. I don't think I can come up with a solution very quickly here. So I think I'll have to end this. Okay, so I did end up finding sort of a solution, but it's a bit ugly in a sense. So yeah, basically I just added a type here, widget state, and then add a constraint which says state needs to be widget state. Now, this does mean that here you have to use it with static, which I'm not sure works out all the time, but in this case it works out. So now here we have a widget which actually displays a text box. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So we can type in here and stuff. Hello, hello, hello. Test, test, whatever. Can't do new lines, which is, I think, by design. Yeah, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this at some point, but I copied a lot of the text box stuff from Druid. It's heavily modified by now, but the visual design of it is still, I think, pretty much from Druid. So yeah. All right. I think that's it for today. See ya. Bye.